We're back in the Cub Crafters Carbon Cub FX3. Weather was nice today here in late October in Anchorage. Taking off from Merrill Field on runway 25. Winds were light variable on the ATIS, but we still got airborne just at the base of the numbers, about a 200-foot takeoff there. Climbing out at about 60 miles per hour, which is about the best angle of climb in this airplane. And we've been given a right downwind departure to head to the east. As we pass by the control tower here, we'll zoom in on that. Merrill Field Air Traffic Control does a great job. It's a very busy airport, 900 aircraft based here, probably one of the busiest Class D airports in the country, and they do a nice job of keeping everybody safe and keeping all the airplanes separated. So now we're making that right downwind turn towards the east, climbing up to 5,500 because the mountains in that direction go as high as 8,000. We're going to pick our way through them. You can see Elmendorf Air Force Base off to the left here. We're headed east now, going to continue east into the mountains. This is an excerpt from the Anchorage sectional chart that depicts the route I'm taking today. As you can see, I head about 30 miles to the east of Anchorage, and then I cut to the northeast to the Lake George and Knik Glacier areas, passing through the Chugach Mountains to the east of Anchorage. This is Arctic Valley, as they call it, to the right, and Eagle River Valley to the left. We're at about 5,500, just traveling along the crest of this ridge. Now I'm passing over the toe of the Eagle Glacier, still at about 5,500, continuing to travel east-southeast towards the Whiteout Glacier, which is coming up on the left in another few miles. Here I'm over the Whiteout Glacier, which is a large ice field in the Chugach Mountains, which feeds multiple glaciers on all sides of the Chugach. Elevations in this area vary between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. It's a very uniform looking surface, almost looks smooth enough to land on if you had skis on your airplanes, and if this wasn't a state park where it's illegal to land except in designated airstrips. But you can see the ripples from the snowdrifts. I'd imagine that it would actually be pretty rough if you tried to land down there. Here I've reached the top of the Whiteout Glacier. We're about to pass over a huge 1,000-foot sheer cliff covered in ice and snow that leads down into the Knik Glacier Valley and the Lake George Glacier Valley. We'll pan the camera around so you can see as we pass over this snow and ice covered rock wall. Definitely some moderate turbulence as I descend down the east side of the Whiteout Glacier. And now I'm at the glacier. This is the toe of the Knik Glacier. There's the ice dam that I just passed over that seems to have recently formed, so I'm expecting some of this water to back up, although it's about to all become completely frozen since we're in late October and winter is almost fully here. Now we're in the upper gorge, just taking in the sights of the Knik Glacier off to the left. There's some waterfalls off to the right, and enjoying that nice blue color that comes through as the sunlight passes through the glacier. At the end of the upper gorge, there's a strip on the east side of the river that I decide to land on. It's a nice long strip, pretty smooth. It's got to be at least 1,000 feet long, so no problem for this airplane. I have talked to some friends that have landed here on 850s, and it was a little rough for them due to the rocks, but it's no problem with the 31-inch Alaska bush wheels on this Carbon Cub. So now I've taxied back after a little walkabout, taken off again. Again, no problem. Give it full power gradually so I don't suck too many rocks up. And then bring the tail up, pop some flaps to get off the ground as soon as I can, and then leave it at one notch of flaps till I'm out of ground effect. Here's a waterfall that I passed by a little farther south. Thought it looked pretty cool, so I wanted to see if I could land nearby, walk up to it, and take a look at it on foot. So I did spot a nice area that looked like it was landable. Don't know if anybody else had landed there recently. I did not see any other tracks. But I'm going to try and test it out by making some low passes and dragging my landing gear on the surface to see how firm it is. See if there's any obstacles that I didn't notice from my initial flyover. But mainly I'm concerned about how soft the ground is, because you can sink down into the mud if it's too soft. And here I drag the main wheels on the surface, even let the tail wheel come down a little bit to test it out. And it feels pretty good, but I'm not going to land yet. Give it full power, get back in the air, retract the flaps. And since it felt good on this pass, I'm going to come back and commit to a full stop landing. This is actually the second pass that I did to test out the firmness of the ground. It is easy to find yourself stuck out here if you land in a spot that's too soft. One perk of the weather getting colder is that the water that's in the ground freezes and definitely makes it a lot firmer than it is in the summer months or even the early fall months. So that extra firmness does make some spots landable that might not have been otherwise due to soft ground. So I'm about to beam the touchdown point here. I'm going to make a left base turn. I'm at about 55 miles per hour. Going to put the second notch of flaps in, so I'm at 2 out of the 3 notches here. Slowing down to about 50 as I turn final and putting that third notch of flaps in. Keeping it at about 50, slowing up to about 45 as I pass over the water that's just in front of the landing spot that I picked out. And I like to touch down, at least at this weight, somewhere between 40 and 45 mile per hour indicated airspeed. This is about a 1,600 pound airplane as it's loaded in this video, 2,000 pounds max takeoff weight. But I've got about 30 gallons of fuel myself and some survival gear in the airplane. So find the spot, touch down where it looked like it was a little bit firmer than the raw mud back there. At least I have some gravel to firm up the surface. No problem, smooth landing. Let the tail wheel drop, and after I come to a full stop, I'll pan to the right, take a look at that waterfall that I'm going to shut down and take a hike up to, take a few pictures. My GoPro ran out of battery at this point. I need to order some more of those from the internet. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any comments or questions below. Have a good day.